What's going on, my friends? Dr. Bruce back with another installment of the Solopreneur Movement Podcast. A solopreneur is any individual who is solely in charge of their business growth around their sales, their service, their marketing, and remember, all of this is a mindset. And today's topic is exactly that. It really is a mindset of choosing progress over perfection. So we'll see you on the inside for this edition. All right, my friends, let's talk through a concept or a term. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you will hear this concept, okay? So if you've already heard it, then, typically whenever I talk about something that is common, it's common sense, but not always common practice, right? But it's a common expression. It is because it's important. It's something that we all need to understand and try to master. And that concept today that we're going to break down is focusing on progress over perfection. And another way that I like to think about this is a lot of the time just getting it to 80%. Done is better than perfectly undone. And there are so many people, because there are so many parts of our business, right? Our plan should be simple on paper, but it's never going to be easy because of all the things that are required of you as a small business owner, whether it's your sales processes, right? Like your pitch. It could be your follow-up. It could be your prospecting. It could be overcoming call reluctance. It could be keeping your database updated, right? There's a lot of different parts of the sales process, which is all we're trying to do is initiate a conversation and move somebody closer to closing. And so perfection would be, you have so much incoming demand for your services, you just wake up and you react, you have one good conversation and you close business, right? Like that's a perfect business. And that is just not the case, all right? So there's gonna be progress in all of these areas. How are you making that initial contact? Every single day I wanna focus on getting a little bit better in that area, get 1% better. Right? Every single day, maybe it's handling objections. I want to get a little bit better at this one objection that I consistently get right now in my business. There's the operations part of it, the service part of this, which is, I believe there are 3 rewards from every one deal. I want to get a referral, I want to get a review, and I want to get retention of the business. So I just need to focus on making progress in those areas because it's never going to be perfect. And then of course our marketing. Marketing is one of those things. I do believe money follows attention. I believe that we all should have an attractive brand that we are proud of. Whether that's me sitting down to do a video, whether that's my website, whether that's my one sheet, whether that's my business card, even though business cards are kind of obsolete these days because of QR codes and stuff like that. But you get my point here. There are so many parts of your marketing that you want to have it look very attractive and you want to be proud of it, right? That's your brand reputation. It takes years and years of consistency and discipline to earn that. But I will tell you, it takes years and years and years of consistently getting a little bit better. Progress over perfection, right? If you waited to take massive action to go out there and launch your business and to start making sales calls when your marketing was perfect, then you're never going to be ready to go out there and make those sales calls, right? So that's one of those things, like I have to focus on done is better than perfectly undone. Is this to 80%? And if it is, then I can go out there and I am proud of taking action. And, for somebody that studies other successful people, right? My PhD is in human performance, which is simply the study of other successful people, internalizing that and going out there and doing it. The more that I study the successful business across multiple platforms, it's the people that go out there and take more action. It's the people that have an idea and then they take that idea to market the quickest. Versus I'm going to sit around for 2 years and make sure that this idea is something that I want to go all in on, right? Like it really is a matter of people who are consistently the most successful are the people who are not afraid to fail forward, who are not afraid to go out there when things aren't perfect. So for all of us perfectionists out there, there is a concept called the arrival fallacy. The arrival fallacy is simply this: if or when I get here, then I'm going to be happy. Right? If or when I get to this certain destination, then I'm going to go out there and do this, this, and this. And my point there being is there are so many books that are written on getting 1% better, right? The compound effect, atomic habits, chop wood and carry water. There's so many different books out there about habits. And my whole concept when it comes to the habits, it really is like, what are your daily non-negotiables? What are your weekly non-negotiables? What are your weekly benchmarks, right? That's why I have a company called 90 Day Sales Manager. It really does come down into your daily non-negotiables. And I will tell you, when it comes to progress over perfection, when it comes to projects, I like to have a weekly focus for projects, right? So every day I follow my 4-hour workday, but then I have a weekly project that I'm just trying to make a little bit of progress on, a little bit of progress on, a little bit of progress on. So progress, always focus on progress over perfection, because otherwise you're going to live in the frustration gap. And when I first launched my business, and again, I still have this, I still go through a lot of these same challenges. That's why I do podcasts like these and concepts like these, is because it's typically things that I'm consistently going through in my own business, in my own life, that I want to get a little bit better at. And when it comes to that, when it comes to progress over perfection, like you just gotta understand, again, it's never going to be perfect. You're gonna get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And the frustration gap is, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, and we constantly move that benchmark and that parameter, versus the celebration gap. This is where I started today, and this is where I got to, and I want to celebrate that. Covey taught me a long time ago, many private victories always precede major public victories. So for you and your personal development and your business development, it really does come down to you individually. What are you making areas in? How are you getting that 1% better? And if you consistently stayed in the frustration gap where you're like, it's not perfect, it's never, it's not where I want it to be, and I can't go out there and launch this idea or this topic, and I'm gonna find creative ways every single day. Like if we allowed ourselves to do that, a lot of us do that, right? We allow ourselves every day to find creative ways to not do the high value activities. I call those HVAs. What are those daily non-negotiables for you and your business? And I do believe that every small business owner should spend at least 60 minutes. I like to stay in my theme of 90-day sales manager in 90 minutes, which is every single day for 90 minutes. I want to stop and really be proactive in my prospecting and follow up with my new clients, follow up with my promoters, follow up with my advocates, follow up with my new prospects and my new targets, follow up with people who have expressed interest that I'm trying to take to a close, right? So for me and my business, I spend 90 minutes every single day in those areas. But it's never perfect. There's gonna be things that happen during your prospecting time. There's gonna be one bad phone call, right? There's gonna be one objection that maybe you didn't handle it as best as you should have or could have, right? So again, guys, this is where, don't beat yourself up. You have to learn how to enjoy the journey and to trust the process. Trust the journey and enjoy the process, right? So many private victories always precede major public victories. The process must always be followed and the price must always be paid. There are no shortcuts to all of this. So wake up every single day and enjoy those 60 to 90 minutes of prospecting. Enjoy the 30 minutes of calling people and maybe asking for referrals or reviews for your business. Enjoy the 3 to 5 minutes if you're doing videos like these that you get to versus I have to, right? So a lot of this, when it comes down to progress over perfection, a lot of it really is that mindset. 99% of this, guys, is mindset every single day. And we're all frustrated because we're all driven, okay? If you're a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, you are driven. And I love that. I love working with people like you because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to have success. But a lot of us, we wanted success yesterday versus trust in the process and going through it and being and practicing gratitude, right? And following your intentions and all the different affirmations that are required of you to go out there and be successful. So my main message for you when it comes to progress over perfection is, number one, done is better than perfectly undone. You have to ask yourself, get it to 80%, and then is that good enough for you to go out there and take massive action on whatever that is? All right. And then maybe you just get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better at whatever that is. Like I just think about, during COVID, I think about my health and wellness. I just decided I want to get in the best shape of my life since I played college sports. And, so I started doing yoga sculpt, which is a great workout. I get on the mat for 45 minutes. I'm sweating everywhere. It's typically hot yoga in 105 degree temperatures, right? But I just tell myself, just show up, just get on the mat, progress over perfection. So even on the days when I don't feel like it, which are a lot of the days, by the way, is okay, progress over perfection, and then you're going to have those days that you are in the flow state, right? Like you're in the zone and it's fun, man. I love those days. And I hope that you have more of those days than you don't. But quite frankly, honestly, a lot of us have more of the days where we don't feel like doing it. And we're going through the motions. And so even just going through the motions, again, you have to focus on the progress over the perfection. You have to show up and put in the work. All right. So done is better than perfectly undone. If there are certain projects, then have a dominant focus for a week, right? Okay, I'm going to focus on this marketing activity. I want to focus on, so for me right now in my business, I'll just be candid and I'll be open with you guys. I lost Google business for whatever reason, shut down my account. And so I'm having to start completely over on going out there and getting reviews. And I believe reviews are the backbone of any business, right? Without reviews and reputation out there in the market, then we can't grow our business to new people, because one of the first places that people go is social proof and social consensus. All right. So the progress over perfection to me is, okay, I had 50 5-star reviews that I lost because of Google and whatever they decided to do. So now I have to start over. So progress to me then, compound effect, 1% better, is I want to get 1 or 2 testimonials every single day. So I'm having to reach back out to my past clients that I know that left me great reviews, and I'm having to go back to them and I'm basically showing them the reviews that they left previously, and if they could just copy and paste that and leave it again for me. All right. But again, guys, progress over perfection. Perfection is something like that happens, something that causes you frustration. That's that frustration gap, is you overcome that frustration gap. And you just focus on, okay, today, how do I get a little bit better? What are those mini private victories? What are those small wins that I can do that I'm making progress? And I'll just be frank with everyone. Whenever I feel like I'm not making progress in my life, I get depressed. And if I have more than 1 or 2 days, if I have more than 2 days where I don't feel like I'm making progress in my business, a lot of times, man, my energy is low, my confidence is low. And confidence is the one thing that affects everything. All right. So stay focused on those little things that are going to become the big things at some point into the future. Done is better than perfectly undone. Get it to 80%. Progress over perfection.